Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Lee Futao and I'm the Fashion Bozo. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna go over how to dress for a business dinner during the summertime. With the weather getting warmer, obviously there's less layers, less pieces that we can work with, but I'm gonna break down a couple of factors to make sure you're aware of, a couple good rule of thumbs and best practices. And once we got those fundamentals down, we're gonna put together some nice outfits for different occasions, meeting with different types of people at different venues. And if that sounds interesting, yo, let's hop into it. Now, if you follow me on social media or you know me in real life, then you know I'm about my business. And there's a few intangible things I want to talk about that I think really makes a big impact on whether you work together, collaborate, or do business in the future. I think first and foremost, probably the most important thing, and you only do this one, is be on time. You know, if you agreed to meet at 8:30 p.m., please be on time. You don't want to be 30 minutes late and the other person is waiting for you. That 30 minutes, they could be doing something else. Maybe they could have done an errand. And while they're waiting for you, they can't really do anything. I think two is just communicating effectively. Usually you plan out the meetup 2-3 days in advance. I like to tell them the time, the date, the day of the week, and also like to send them the Google Maps link of the restaurant, because sometimes there's multiple sweetgreens, multiple kavas, multiple of the same ramen shops, right? And you don't want them to go to the wrong one, especially if they're out of town. I think another one is, since you're planning this in advance, just follow up the night before. Just be like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow night. And then also, I like, if we're getting dinner at 8, I like to follow up around 11 or 12 p.m. Like, hey, I'll see you tonight. That way, if they tell you, oh, something came up, I can't make it, let's reschedule, you still have time to make maybe other plans for the night and maybe do some other things. So you're not just caught like 7 p.m. you go and they're like, hey, I can't make it. And you're like, wow, like, what am I supposed to do? And last but not least, just a nice haircut always helps, but it's definitely not necessary. But hey, the guys know a nice haircut will go a long way. So when I'm putting on my outfit together, there's a few things I like to think about as I'm getting dressed. The first thing is, who am I meeting? Am I meeting an investor, a venture capitalist, someone who's doing private equity? Am I meeting with someone who wants to collaborate with me? Are we just getting dinner to just conversate and learn from one another, get to know each other? Am I meeting the owner of a nightclub? Or am I meeting someone that's a creative, right? Maybe I'm looking for a video editor, a photographer, a videographer, an artist, a graphic designer, whatnot. Or am I meeting like a fellow entrepreneur where we're in a similar field? Maybe they're YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagram influencers, podcasters, supreme resellers, cafe owners, and whatnot. Depending on who they are and what field they're in, you might want to adjust how you dress, right? So I'll give you a good example. Say I'm meeting the owner of a big nightclub downtown, right? And you know, big clientele. So usually the big clientele, they're a little bit older because they have more time to build themselves up and have more money. So I'll probably wear something like this, right? You know, nice button down, you know, but you know, a little bit unique design, you know, like the cut is a little different. You don't see this design too much. It's from Number 9, a Japanese brand. And you know, it's not doing too much, but you know, it's still clean, it's still proper. And they're probably gonna wear a button down or probably a polo shirt of their own. So you kind of match their vibe a little bit, you know, so you can feel comfortable. You don't want to wear anything too crazy. Like, I'm not gonna pull up in this, right? Because they're like, oh, like, what are you doing, right? So, but if I'm saying I know that the venture capitalist is very proper, you know, does things real old school, I might pull up in a blue shirt, right? Blue button up. I'm iron it, steam it, all that. And then say I'm meeting an editor, videographer, an artist. These people are more creative because what they do is a creative field. And you can't become a good videographer, photographer, and editor if you don't at least like what you do, because it takes a lot of time and energy to learn these techniques, know the nuances. For these people, you know, they like to express themselves something more creative, and they'll probably appreciate something like this, right? Like something that's geometrical. I'll just give you guys examples. You don't have to go out and buy this stuff. But something more geometrical, something interesting, right? Like sure the artists will appreciate this. Like photography is art, videography is art. They appreciate something like this. And then say I'm meeting up with a reseller, right, of Supreme, right? I'll probably have to break out some of my nicer pieces, right? Like I'll probably bust the Bapestas out, right? And I might pull up my MCM backpack, right? And they're probably gonna do the same thing. They're probably gonna wear their off-white sneakers and all that, and it just makes sense. So knowing who they are, right? And then the next thing is definitely where are you meeting, right? What's the venue, right? Usually like when you have a business meeting, it's best to meet at a restaurant so you can talk. Right? If you meet at the club, you can't talk, and it's too loud. So say you're meeting at a steakhouse, right? You definitely want to wear something more proper, something clean. Make sure there's no stains, you know, make sure it fits good, fits well. So say I'm going to like a steakhouse, you know, for the summertime, I'll probably wear something like this, right? All white linen, you know, something clean, classic cut. You know, you can't really go wrong with this. I think they'll really appreciate something like this. But, you know, steakhouse, you're probably meeting with like a VC, you know, somebody that's up there. And then say you're going to an Italian restaurant, right? So steakhouse up there and the main Italian restaurants here. So you probably want to wear some clean, you know what I mean? Like you might wear this, right? Like, you know, something nice, you know, a little collar action. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then maybe you're going for something more casual, like a ramen spot, right? Like if you go to a ramen spot, you can pretty much wear anything, but just make sure it's clean, because at the end of the day, you're meeting to do business, conducting business. You're not going to a photo shoot. You're not going there to stun on them. You're not going to go over there and try to like impress them and whatnot. Trying to go do business. And then last but not least, like say you're going to Starbucks, just wear something clean, comfortable. You don't gotta try too hard. Starbucks. And then the third and final thing, which I think is very important, is just knowing the person that you're meeting, right? How do they dress? So if they're a very simple, minimalistic person, you don't want to pull up in some crazy outfit, right? I'm not even trying to brag. Like when I put together what I think is a simple outfit, I'm like, oh wow, that's fly, right? But I'm not even really trying that hard, right? So if I'm meeting someone who doesn't really dress like that, I'm not gonna pull up in this, because when we're sitting across the table, they might feel like, oh wow, like I'm underdressed, they're underdressed. I want them to feel comfortable, right? When we're talking business. So if they don't really dress like that, I might wear something simple, right? I might just wear this Tommy Hilfiger, right? And wow, right? Or you don't want to like overdress, right? But then say you're meeting someone who's a model, right? She's a model, he's a model, and you're both into fashion like that. They go to fashion week. Well, you got to pull up in something like this, right? And like you got to break the Johns out. So depending on how they dress, and how would you know that? Well, chances are maybe you met them in person and then you wanted to meet up again to talk more. Then you kind of get an idea of how to dress. If you have the phone number, or maybe if you have their Instagram, you could kind of go through their profile, see how they dress. You never want to overdress them, all right? You want to always just kind of meet them where they're at if you can, because, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a business meeting and you want everybody to be comfortable. So we went over who you're meeting, where you're going to meet them, and how do they dress. And now you have all the knowledge, you have the fundamentals. Let's go put some outfits together. So we're gonna go over 3 different scenarios, 3 different outfits, and it's gonna go from high to medium to low. And I think it'll be enough for whatever is in between in the middle, I think you guys can figure it out. So the first scenario is I have an idea for an app and I'm seeking investment. I'm meeting with a venture capitalist, want to get dinner, and you're just gonna get to know each other, speak more about the business, right? And we're meeting at a steakhouse in Manhattan. So what I would wear is definitely your top is very important, because when you're sitting across from the table, that's what they'll be seeing, right? So I will definitely wear this. You can't go wrong. This is from a brand called Awake New York. Linen throughout, texture pattern, very unique piece. But it's still a classic, right? It's a short sleeve, white button up, classic, right? I'm sure they'll appreciate that. They'll be like, oh, that's a nice shirt. You know, they'll probably might even ask you where you got it. You're not doing too much, but you also bring, like, you're doing something a little different, right? And when an investor is looking at who they want to invest in, the person they want to invest in and their business, well, they hope you're doing something different, which can make you stand out. So definitely pull up in something like this. And then for while we're on the pants, so even though it is summertime, especially in New York, it does get a little bit cooler in the evening. So probably like, you know, low 70s, like low 80s. So you can still wear long pants because you're going to be in the steakhouse and be in the restaurant. There's going to be air conditioning. So I'll definitely pull up in something like this. It's a slack. I know it's wrinkly. I haven't worn these for a while. But definitely iron it, steam it, because this is a big deal. This is a big opportunity and you want to try your best. So this pair of pants is from Kooples Paris. You don't got to go designer. Like, you could probably just buy something from like Zara, Uniqlo, and it'll look just as good. Fit is very important. It's not the brand, like, as long as the quality is good and the material is good, the brand doesn't really even matter when you're just trying to look clean. But yeah, as you can see, it's a check pants, you know, small checks. But if you look closely, you know, if I put in B-roll shots, but if you look closely, there is small hints of blue, and you could see it like when you're like close to one another, you know. And you know, those subtle details people will really appreciate it. Like, oh wow, like, you know, it's something that's familiar, but it's not too different, and they appreciate that. And definitely, since we're at a steakhouse, they'll probably wear some like a white button up, some slacks, you know. And so I want to come out with some loafers. So these are Wallabees, classic shoe from 90s New York. A lot of the rappers like Nas, Jay-Z, they were rocking them. You know, just clean, you know, definitely clean it up a little bit, take a baby wipe. But yeah, I mean, clean outfit, not doing too much. We're there to do business, but overall, well put together. Make sure you're on time. Let's get to the second outfit. So the next person I'm meeting is a videographer. I want to do a promotional campaign for my business or brand. We're going to be hiring some models, some set designers, some makeup artists. It's going to have a budget of, you know, $5,000, $6,000. So I want to make sure that I find a videographer that can, one, do the job, and somebody that we can work with down the line as well on different projects if we like them, because you don't want to find a different videographer for each project that you do, right? So the late 20s, they do lifestyle content. Think Amélie Dor, think Kif, think Noah, think J. Crew, think Polo Ralph Lauren. Lifestyle content, like riding horses by the beach, that kind of stuff. So while wear is for sure, you know, up top, you got to build around the top. I wear this Stussy geometric pattern shirt. I think this retail for $140 or $130, and I got it for half off during the sale. You don't have to spend money on brands like this. You could just go to Uniqlo. They have nice stuff there. Zara. Just make sure you do the hand test. You feel the quality. But you know, a nice clean button up. I think they'll appreciate the pattern for sure. And then I'm gonna do some white pants. I think, honestly, the respect level for someone goes up if you see them pull up in white pants, especially if they're a guy, just because it's a difficult piece to pull off. And you might think, oh, I'm stunning on them, but hey, if they're a creative videographer, they've been around a lot of fly shit in the past. They've seen it all right? But it's still, you know, some nice, you know, pull up in some white pants, you know, stun on them a little bit, you know what I mean? So here we have a pair of white pants from Uniqlo. These actually from the women's section, and what I like about the women's section is they have many different cuts and silhouettes. So what cut and silhouette means is just fancy words for shape and how it fits, right? So the legs and the thighs, right, it's kind of a little bit wider, and then as it goes down, it kind of slims down towards the ankle, right? And you know, I have big legs, you know, big thighs and stuff, so it fits me better. And I also like the loose fit, right? Like I don't want to pull up in some white pants and it's skin tight, right? And a lot of times, like, you might not find what you're looking for in the men's section. Don't be embarrassed and ashamed to go to the women's section. I've worn these plenty of times outside. I've been on dates with women. I'm wearing these and they always like it. They ask me where I got it, you know what I mean? And and if it fits good, that's all that matters. So what I would say, if you're ever buying women's clothing, fellas, do it in person, do it in the store, because you have to know how the crotch area fits. All right, it's important to be comfortable. If you know, you know. So we got the geometric shirt, we got the white pants, and you know, I think we need a little bit pop of color. You know, we're doing it a little bit too proper. We gotta stun on them a little bit, and you know, just show out. It is New York City at the end of the day, or whatever you're at. It's always okay to stun out a little bit. I'm gonna rock the Bapestas, patent red leather, white, nice laces, definitely a jaw dropper. They'll definitely remember you for better or for worse. So that's why I will wear, you know, they could see that you're creative. Like I would say, like videographers, if they're very good at what they do, they can choose their clientele. They're not desperate. And just as much as you want to work with them, well, they have to want to work with you. And you know, you clearly put effort into this outfit. It's clear that you're also creative, right? Because the videographer's job is to execute your vision, but if you don't know nothing about fashion and like creative things, and you're just trying to have them do all the work, it's difficult for them. And when the product doesn't come out well because you don't have a good vision and direction as the director, well, it could look bad on them when it was really not their fault. But just from the outfit alone, it does play a big role, right? In New York, a lot of times, sometimes like, oh, like you met so and so, blah blah blah. Like, oh, what did they pull up at? Oh, he pulled up in this fly. Like, but if they don't remember, well, that's not a bad thing. But if they do remember, you'll stand out and your name will be in the air, which is a good thing, for sure. We're trying to do business. Okay, the last scenario is we're meeting a sneaker reseller, mid to late 20s, at a nice Italian restaurant in Little Italy. I used to resell apparel, so clothing, apparel, accessories, and they mainly focus on sneakers. And the reason we're meeting is that we want to discuss whether we want to go half-half on a booth at a trade show. I'll do the sneakers and clothing and apparel. They do the sneakers, and maybe down the line, if everything lines up, maybe we do a brick and mortar store together. But first, we want to just get to know each other more, enjoy a meal, and just have some laughs, and just get to know each other at a human level. And obviously, the fit matters a lot here. I know they'll be coming out in some crazy heat, probably. So this is what I'm gonna come out in, right? So I'm the clothing and apparel guy, and like I said, we'll build around the top, right? Because that's what you see during the dinner. So I'm gonna pop out in this Sinclair Global crochet knit. Just came out this summer, recently picked it up. This was $150, which is definitely on the pricier end, but you're paying for the design, the unique material, the color, and you're definitely paying a lot for the brand, the marketing, and the lifestyle. The brand and marketing that the lifestyle portrays. It's a big part of why you like the brand, right? Think Gucci, think Louis, right? Think Off-White. It's what these brands are associated with is why you want to buy these brands associated with them. But anyways, nice green crochet, button up, you know, some proper, might wear a little chain. You don't really have to, but it would be nice. And definitely, since they are a reseller, I think reseller of sneakers is, you know, it's adjacent to apparel. It's obviously a little bit different, but, you know, adjacent. And definitely, if you do sneakers, you know Supreme. You know what I mean? Like, you probably do both. But I'll pop out in some Supreme cargos. You know, something subtle, right? Not doing too much. But, yeah, if you know, like, oh, yo, like, where you get those pants? Oh, man, Supreme. Oh, wow. You know, I really mess with Supreme. Great cargos. They look heavy, but the material is kind of, like, it's durable. It's light. And it falls well. It's not too crazy for the summer, but just make sure it's not 100 degrees out when you're rocking these, because you will be sweating. And definitely you want to show some respect to this reseller if you have these pieces in your collection. If you do not, use what you have, right? Use what you have. If you don't have it, maybe you go to Uniqlo and you buy it, right? I think Uniqlo has everything you need if you just want to look clean and just look clean, right? If you want to be a fashion person, you could jump into the whole can of worms, right? But you just want to be clean, Uniqlo has everything you need. So their sneaker reseller, I have to pop out in something, you know, a little bit more, you know, you don't see them every day, right? Like, I'm not going to pull up in some Panda Dunks, right? Do we want to do business, or am I just your customer, right? Maybe I bought those Panda Dunks off of you, you know what I mean? Like, but definitely got to pop out in the Off-White 2s. Rest in peace to Virgil. He really, like, I went to his exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum back in December. It really inspired me, motivated. I was like, wow, man, this guy really, like, he's just like me, or I'm just like him, right? Like, came up, didn't really know what his vision was, and just started doing things, resonating, taking care of the community, just expressing himself, and he went very far. So rest in peace to the legend. But you pulling out up in the Off-White 2s is not too flashy, right? It's a black sneaker with hints of blue. Obviously the detailing, if you know, you know. But just something clean, like, hey, I know I'm the sneaker guy, but he also knows about this field. He might not know as much, but we can definitely have conversation. I can teach him, he can teach me, and we can work together and make each other better, right? Bleach me, bleach me. I know this is half business, half fashion video, but you know, I'm about my business. You know, I enjoy the process of making money, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found something. Like, this is a very interesting topic, right? So if you want to talk more about it, make sure to comment down below. But if you want to have a more in-depth conversation with me, you can find me on Instagram. You can DM me at LeeFoodALion. And I talk to everybody, all right? Just come at me correctly, be respectful, please. Like the video. Also comment down what more other videos you would like to see. And I'm gonna try to upload 3 times a week. Just think about it, but we about to get it. And as always, my name is Leefu, and I'm the Fashion Bozo. Until next time, we out. Peace.